Hello and welcome. I thought I'd do a quick tutorial on how to get EverQuest Next Landmark working in Wine in Linux. I'm using Linux Mint 16, 64-bit Cinnamon edition. To note about that, first you need 64-bit. It's officially a 64-bit game. I have heard rumors there's a 32-bit client, but I wasn't able to run it. But yeah, it's officially a 64-bit game, so that's the way you want to go. For this, I use NVIDIA. I'm sorry I cannot do AMD tutorial, but I don't have any AMD cards. But pretty much if you have an AMD, get your proprietary driver working in that. But I can't guarantee that it actually works. So, for the NVIDIA, you need, of course, your proprietary driver. Make sure you add this PPA here. It's called XOR Edgers. You can see the address up here. And you add that by adding this PPA here. XOR Edgers /PPA. And you do that in your repositories. Just add that line and it will automatically add it. And then you will want to install I would recommend this one, 331, this driver, 331. So if you are, for example, here in Linux Mint, you go driver, your driver manager, and you have, takes a while to start here now, and you select it in there after you have added the PPA. There you go. So as you can see, I have this one selected. It's the official recommended from NVIDIA at the moment. Especially if you have a newer graphic card, this is important. If you have an older one, you can run with 319. 331 is to prefer if you have a 700 series. Okay. Once that's done, you need to add the PPA for Wine, so you get the latest one. I haven't tested 1.7.12 yet. I have it installed at the moment, so we'll see if we run into any problems. I got this game running with 1.7.10. 1.7.11 does have problems, so you know that. Sorry. To add this, the easiest way is to add the PPA for it, and we go to, let's see here, downloads. Even as Linux Mint, you just go into Ubuntu, and that's of course the same for Ubuntu if you have that. Add this PPA, and then install the 1.7 branch. And once you have that installed, you open up a terminal. Now, there is a graphical user interface like Q for Wine, QT for Wine, or something like that. I have tried it and I can't use it. Some people think it's awesome. I just can't use it. I'm used to the terminal. So the first thing you want to do is create a wine prefix, a new wine prefix. A wine prefix is essentially like a Windows installation, you could say, a form of Windows installation, like a container. So you want a separate one for each game. Well, at least I do that. You don't have to, but I have a separate one for each game. Well, I have one for Steam, for example, and then I have one for EverQuest 2 that you see here in the background. I have one for PlanetSide. PlanetSide isn't working for me properly though, but one for Neverwinter, one for Arcanum. I try as much as I can. I try to have one for each game. So, and this is the case for EverQuest Landmark. It makes it a lot easier when you do need to make special configurations, special tweaks, so to speak. Don't ask about this. There's an NDA, and I honestly haven't gotten it to work either, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's create a prefix for EverQuest Next Landmark. I already have it installed, of course, but I'll do one here just for you now. So we start by defining the prefix. Wine prefix equals to, and then you do your home directory here, a tilde sign, slash, that means your home directory, dot wine. That's the default. If you want to make it in the default, you don't have to do this wine prefix thing. It goes to .wine by default. But I want to have it in a special one. EQ and L, for example. EQ Next Landmark. Now I already have that one, so we make 2 there. Just to create a new one. And then wine boot. So this will boot up that. Okay. Okay, sorry, that one needs an absolute path. So, do it like this instead. Just do the absolute path to it. So slash home tab, the start of your username, tab dot wine tab Q and L. 2 in my case now. So, wine boot. There. So, now it's booting up that. It's creating the prefix, adding all the registry settings, everything like that. So, now that's done. Now we want to just go into CFG to see everything is working. Wine CFG. Just see that it looks okay here. Good. And you can see your wine version here as well. Now we are going to use wine tricks, and if you don't have that installed, it's in the same PPA. So just do sudo apt get install wine tricks like that, and then we select default prefix there. Okay, and now it will say your prefix up here. Install fonts. Core fonts, and that's installed. It was very fast for me because it didn't have to download it. It has a local copy, and cancel, and that's done. So now we need to install it. So we can go into that cd.wine2. In here you can see we have a do's devices drive _c. That's the C colon. So we go into that one. And here we have a folder structure, and here when you can see that it's created a 64-bit prefix because you have this folder. If you don't have this folder, it's created a 32-bit prefix. Either because you have a 32-bit OS or you have an older version of Wine installed that doesn't support 64-bit. So now we can copy our file that we downloaded. EQL setup.exe. We have it there. And we go back to wine prefix. Delete the tricks. So we only have wine, EQL, enter. This will take a little bit of time. EverQuest Next Landmark setup. Next. EverQuest Next Landmark, just keep the default. Install. I accept for the DirectX there. Next. Next. And finish. Now it's starting Launchpad. Now it's gonna patch here. So I'm gonna pause the recording. Well, I'm gonna get to login. Of course, you need to have alpha access at this point. If you don't have it, you can't patch it. So I'm gonna pause the recording for now and continue as soon as I get in. Just to don't think I'm cheating or anything. I'm just starting the recording in the middle here. It's actually patching still. It's going really slowly for me for some reason at the moment. It might be because it's prime time. It's only about 5 megabytes per second. my connection usually can handle about 12 megabytes per second, so it usually goes really quick, but I'll be back as soon as done. I just remembered the reason it's going slower is because I'm downloading BioShock Infinite for my PlayStation 3. It's a free game for PlayStation Plus at the moment, but it should be done soon. Well, for you it's really fast as I'm pausing the recording. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. I had to take Elsa for a walk. That's my dog for the deductional challenge people. Okay, so it's done. First, before we start it now though, I'm going to change some settings. Just for convenience though, like if you started now, the intro movie will play, it doesn't show, like for me it just gives the audio and then it crashes the game, but it doesn't show anymore after that. But just to make it easier, we'll turn it off. I'm sorry, I'm breathing so heavy. I just got in. 2 C 6 Sony Style Games EverQuest Next Landmark. Okay, user options isn't generated yet, apparently, so we have to start it once anyway. Well, we don't have to, I could copy my other one, but just for the benefit of you, this is what happened when you start the game the first time.
Welcome. Finally here. The EverQuest Next Landmark Alpha.
Okay, you can't hear it now, but the video is playing. I can hear Smoke Jumper talking, but I can't see him. So I'm gonna pause the recording for now until the game crashes. Okay, some improvement actually. The game didn't crash after the intro video. The intro video played, and then it, as usual, as before, I couldn't see the actual footage from it. I only got Smoke Jumper talking about the alpha. But now the game actually loaded after that. So, nice. So let's try logging in. If I'm screaming, it's because the game music is kind of loud in my ears at the moment. I don't know if you can hear it. Okay, and I promise you I haven't done anything else. When it has been paused, it's just because waiting for loading, installing, and stuff like that. Everything I have done, you have seen. And as you can see also, the game runs in full screen without a problem. And it also I don't know if there's any corruptions now in the recording, but that's just the recording. There's no issues in the actual game right now, because right now I'm just capturing the screen essentially instead of actually capturing the OpenGL buffer like I normally do for videos of games. So any artifacts you might see, it's just the recording. So, but as you can see, it works perfectly right now. Even now, when recording, I get like almost 30 frames per second most of the time here. Not really a problem. A little bit of lag here, mostly because of the recording. So yeah, one thing I've noticed that doesn't work, it crashes the game, is changing the resolution while inside the game. We can try that now though. Maybe it works better. Let's just try it to see if it crashes still. Like here it's full screen. I'm gonna change to windowed mode. It's probably gonna crash. Yeah, it crashed. Game error. So let's get back there. No, where was I playing here? So now we can go in to actually change the resolutions and stuff like that. You edit this file, Nano User Options. Nano is just the editor that I use. You can use gedit, for example. Okay. So here we have maximum FPS. You can lower that if you want. It's kind of unnecessary to have it that high. Basically just have it that high if you want to see how high the game can go for you. See here. Here, these are the interesting things. So what I like to do, I like to play windowed mode because I like to jump to the browser, check my Facebook, check YouTube. Like I do a lot of stuff at the same time. I never really only play a game. So I've changed this to windowed. If I can spell. And then I change height to, and I don't want it totally there. You see I have this border here, so let's try 10. Let's try 1050 there. I don't remember exactly what I usually have. The width can of course be the same. So I can check if there's anything else interesting to change here. I don't believe there was. As you can see here, there's a lot of options in this file that isn't implemented in the game yet. So the game is going to have video capture and video streaming built in, apparently. If that will work in Wine, that's another issue. Outer diffuser. Here, this was what I was planning to do first. I was planning to go into the file because I thought it was already created, but it doesn't create the file until you launch it the first time. But I was going to add this, intro video watched equals 1. Then you don't get that intro video. And saved. So now if I launch it, and now you can see here, as I have installed, you can see that my prefix is gonna be 2. EQNL2 there. My normal prefix doesn't have the 2. So just open it with that. And it should start no problem. Now, as I said, now I'm running Wine 1.7.12. I have not really tested that, besides what I just did now. So I don't know how reliable it is. But I'll test it out further. Oh yeah, also, if I didn't mention that, if you don't let that intro video run its course, and that it's not gonna regenerate that user options thing, and because it does that after that video is played. So if you don't get the sound, if you just get a black screen when you start the game the first time, just let it sit there. It will either come into your character creation thing, or it will crash to desktop. But it's a long video, just let it sit until it either crashes or it's in the game. So it generates that thing so you don't have to go through that again. And now it should open in a window mode. Yeah, there. So, that's it. That's how you get EQ. Oh shit. I did not mean to click delete there. Okay. Whew. For some reason I thought the exit button was there. Luckily it didn't quite register that I clicked delete there. I assume it would have been some kind of confirmation window there. Sometimes the game gets stuck at 50% here. It usually continues. After a while it can take quite a long time, sometimes. Sometimes it's really fast. I think it's something to do with connecting to the server, so it's random, basically. Now it's heavy load. It's a lot of people playing at the moment. Okay, we can actually see that the game is actually starting to load in the background. You can see at the bottom here now. And there it continues loading. Okay, now it's done. There. Yeah. So, that's how you get this thing running. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Otherwise, enjoy.